The following program is an exclusive production of Action Sports Cable Network.
Hi, I'm Andrew Mallory and welcome to Pumpkin Ridge Golf Club, where I'm going to have a look at one of the world's newest emerging sports. It's called speed golf and it combines two disciplines, golfing and athletics, because you've got to run like a rabbit from shot to shot, so you need to be pretty fit. And I'm joined today by two of the world's leading speed golfers, and I'd like you to join me and find out exactly what's involved with this sport. Speed golf was brought to the Northwest by Christopher Smith and Tim Scott. Both native Oregonians, they were high school buddies in Eugene and each made a career in the sport of golf. Chris ended up as the teaching professional at Pumpkin Ridge Golf Club outside of Hillsborough, and Tim as the assistant pro instructor at Quail Valley near Banks. In addition to playing golf, both Tim and Chris enjoy running. One day, Tim read an article in Runner's World about the new sport of speed golf. He saw it as a great opportunity to combine their two loves.
And I saw this article, and the headline was Speed Golf. And I mean, the first thing I thought of was Chris, because Chris and I are both professional golfers and have run together for years. And I thought, this is us. First phone call I made right after I got through the article was Chris, and we signed up for a tournament like the next day. Unbelievable.
Since that time, Tim and Chris have excelled to become top speed golf professionals worldwide. At last count, Chris was ranked number 2 in the world, followed by Tim at number 3. The two of them introduced the sport to Oregon golfers at the Fred Meyer Challenge in 2000. Since then, its popularity has been growing steadily. Now, Chris, tell me how this whole speed golf started. I mean, who on earth invented this game?
Well, several years ago, to the best of our knowledge, in San Diego, California, there was a group of people that were just tired of the 5-hour rounds of golf, and they decided that they'd like to speed it up. And it caught on, and from there, many other people have started to play.
And how about its popularity here in Oregon?
It's growing. We have several events each year. More and more people are trying it. It's possible for golfers and runners of all different levels and experiences to play speed golf. It's a lot of fun. It's something you can do before work. Run 5 miles, 5.5 miles or so, and you're done. And you've played your 18 holes of golf at the same time.
So we're talking about the essence of a really good workout coupled with the sheer pleasure of golf.
Absolutely. And the beautiful thing about speed golf is it's played by exactly the same rules as traditional golf, only quite a bit faster.
When we return, Tim and Chris are going to take us out onto the course to show us what it takes to play a round of speed golf. Well, here I am at the first tee at Pumpkin Ridge Golf Club, and I'm joined with Tim and Chris, who are going to tell me what to do.
Hello, Andrew.
Chris, nice to see you.
Andrew.
Tim, nice to see you. What have we got going on here?
Well, Tim's going to get some things ready for our round of speed golf and rejoin us here in just a few minutes.
All right.
Thank you, Tim. Now, there's a distinct difference between what we're wearing here, and I feel a little bit overdressed, so what do I need to do?
Well, you're close here, Andrew. Normally for speed golf, as you can see, we wear some lightweight running shoes with some lightweight socks, a pair of shorts, and a lightweight golf shirt. So if we could get some shorts and some shoes on you, you'd be ready to go.
But are these delightful sparkly laces compulsory or optional?
Those are optional. I feel they help me run a little bit faster, but perhaps not.
Okay, now beside you are the tools to our trade. Now what's the difference between these two bags?
Well, it's interesting. When we play speed golf competitively, there's one of two options. We can either play with an entire set of clubs like you see here. 14 clubs is the maximum, which goes on the back of a golf cart, and then we have a caddy who drives the cart and stays ahead of us and passes us the clubs when we need them. The other option is occasionally we will play tournaments, and for most of our training rounds we use a special speed golf bag where we carry 4 or 5 clubs, and this bag we can carry ourselves simply by picking it up and running, very self-sufficient. We have obviously a putter which will be used on the greens, a couple of irons, and then a wood or a metal to be used for off the tee.
So we're going to be using this type of bag, not this sort of bag.
Sure, we can use either or.
The first step to playing speed golf is stretching and warming up before teeing off. Running 18 holes in less than an hour could be a nasty experience if one does not take these precautions. Those who've been playing the game of golf for decades sometimes have a hard time with this new form of the sport. To some, golf is synonymous with relaxation.
You know, initially it was looked at in a different fashion, but really this game is played with the same rules as traditional golf. All the rules are the same. It's scored by adding one's total score for 18 holes to the time it takes to play, and the lowest total then wins.
For instance, if it took you 45 minutes and you shot 85, your score would be 130. You just add the two together. The best score ever shot in the game actually is 111 minutes 55 seconds. A guy from San Diego shot 72 even par in 39 minutes and 55 seconds. The best score I've ever had is 68 in speed golf. Chris and I have both broken par before, and usually are shooting right between 116 and 122 or so, which is somewhere around 74, 73, and about 45 minutes.
It becomes quite obvious that speed golf is more than just skillfully hitting the ball down the course. It becomes a cross-country training sport between the golf and running. But is there one skill that favors the other?
I would say it's 2/3 golf, 1/3 running. I think the stronger golfer will defeat the stronger runner from a competitive standpoint. You need a little bit of both, but I think it's mostly golf and a little bit running.
The golf's a little more important definitely than the running, because if you shoot 80 really or higher, or even sometimes high 70s, you really can't be competitive. You can't be fast enough to shave all those shots away. But if you can shoot 76, 75 or better around par, you're going to be in the hunt if you can run really at all.
Playing with or without a caddy is optional in speed golf. If one plays with a caddy, it can mean up to a 6-minute advantage over a person who carries their own golf bag. Also, if one plays with a caddy, the interaction between the player and the caddy is quite different from the traditional game of golf.
The caddy stays kind of one step ahead at all times. They'll yell out yardage as I come running up. Let's say I'm 150 yards out and I'm running up, I'm about 100 yards away. They'll say 150, I'll say, get an 8-iron. Then we meet, make the exchange, and on they go. They go up by the green.
There comes a point in playing speed golf when the combination of running and hitting the ball becomes a real challenge in getting a good score.
The hardest part of speed golf is putting, and the reason is, and I kind of equate it with biathlon, Olympic biathlon in Winter Olympics, where you cross-country ski and then you get up there and you've got to shoot at a target. It's kind of the same thing in putting. You run up to the green, you may have run 250 yards up to the green, and now you've got a delicate 10-foot putt. You've got to get your heart rate down a little bit before you smack this thing, 5 feet past the hole. So it's taking a couple deep breaths and relaxing and hitting a good putt to get your touch and feel.
Since speed golf happens at such a rapid pace, it's not easily played during the day when traditional golfers are on the green. Finding a place to play can become rather difficult.
There's several courses here in the Portland area that allow speed golf. to be played, and normally it has to be played very early in the morning, since if there's anyone in front of a speed golfer, they would have to get out of the way. So normally when we train or practice, we get up at the crack of dawn and we're the first ones off on the golf course, and we're finished within an hour.
So who can play speed golf? According to Chris, it all depends on your aspirations.
I think from a competitive standpoint, it needs to be, the ideal player would be someone who's a very strong player, strong golfer, and a fairly good runner. From a recreational standpoint, anybody can play.
It would be easy to assume that the slower one plays a round of golf, the better their final score would be. According to Chris, just the opposite is true.
For whatever reason, maybe it's golf on TV, people mistakenly believe that in order to play well, they must play slowly. Most of us play worse the slower we play. As a professional instructor, I found many benefits to the format of speed golf. I see pupils and students every day that struggle with this game for a variety of reasons, and speed golf has some intrinsic qualities that help us play better golf. We play more conservatively. We think less. Thinking is a big killer on the golf course, overanalyzing. So it's got a lot of things that are built into it that can help the average player with a traditional round of golf.
Several golf pros have already tried speed golf and they've been favourable of its future. Unfortunately, very few sponsors have come to the table to support it so far. But as more pros do get involved, the better potential it has to be a competitive and lucrative sport. Chris and Tim have even asked high-profile players like Tiger Woods to try out the speed golf.
You know, Tiger's a runner, so the offer is standing to him at this point. I don't think he has really a very busy schedule, so he should be able to come and play at any time. But I think he'd be very interested in it. You know, he's a great player, pretty fit individual, so we'll see if he shows up.
Since this is such a new sport, starting out may not be an easy task, finding a course to play on, for example. Yet despite these challenges, there are things one can do to begin playing.
Well, what they'd have to do is, in their region, is find a course that will let them play speed golf. And what that means, in the Portland area, there's a couple courses that you can do that at. And it's going to be at dark 30 in the morning, because there's got to be nobody on the course. But it's a great way to start the day. I mean, you get a 5-mile run, 18 holes in, and you're at work by 8 o'clock.
The great thing about speed golf is that most people can quickly get involved in the sport.
Because you're not fast or because you're not a great golfer does not mean you can't have a great time playing speed golf. It's just like you look at the Portland Marathon, there's 10,000 people. Well, very few of those people are, 5 people maybe have a chance to win that race, but there's 10,000 other people out there doing it. It's the same thing in speed golf. There's not going to be a whole ton of people that have a chance really to be competitive at the top, but that doesn't mean they can't have a great time doing it.
Well done, sir.
Thank you.
Now that was impressive.
Thank you.
Very
It was
impressive.
fun.
Was that par or?
That was par on the 9th, and ended up shooting even par. So it was good.
It's fantastic.
Yeah.
So that's the way it's done. It's short, it's sharp, there's a quick exchange. You've got to be very, very careful about your putting.
Boom, boom, boom. It's quick. It happens fast, and it's next thing you know, you're on the 6th hole.
I saw you there for a minute. You kind of hesitated a little bit. Was that you getting your breath under control?
Got to get your breath a little bit, or you can't hit quality shots. You kind of got to gather yourself a little bit, and then
Right.
hit the shot. And whatever happens, happens. You go from there.
Fantastic. Well done.
Thanks.
Here comes Chris. Just off the green. You can see the pace that these guys are running at. I mean, that's not a trot. I mean, he's opening his legs up. He's really running pretty fast there. Here comes the exchange. It's a long putt. Watch him take a breath now as he settles down. Gets himself together. And there it is. Chris, well done.
Thank you.
What was your timing on that?
It was a little over 21 minutes for 9 holes.
21 minutes for 9 holes?
Yeah.
You're slightly off to the right, just off the green here that time.
I was a little afraid of the water.
So you deliberately went that side?
Well, it scared me a little, you know.
Did it?
Yeah, you know.
A tough boy like you.
Well, you know, my ball doesn't like the water.
So what would you say? That's pretty average play for you or good?
Yeah, it's about average. Somewhere between 20 and 23 minutes or so for 9 holes and double that for 18. So that's about right.
I was just telling the viewers the pace. I mean, you're not trotting, you are running. I mean, that's a full-on gallop down that stretch there.
It is. It's a pretty hard run. If we weren't playing golf and having to hit, you know, good shots, you could probably run a little bit faster. But you've got to balance between, you know, how hard can I go, how fast can I run, and still be able to hit a quality golf shot. So, as fast as we can.
Well done.
Thank you.
When we return, we'll watch 2 golfers try out speed golf for the first time. You know, this is Oregon after all, and over the last hour we've had about 3 or 4 seasonal weather changes. But what I've come here for is to meet with 2 friends of mine who are going to show us how beginners start at speed golf. And with me is Sarah, Jeffrey, and of course our professional chap here, Christopher. Hi, Chris.
Hello.
Chris, what do these guys need to know at this point? They've just arrived.
Right. Well, we've got them equipped with some speed bags, some speed golf bags, where we've all got anywhere from 4 to 6 different clubs in the bag. That's all you really need when you're playing speed golf on your own. And other than that, they're attired for a normal round of golf, which is fine, and you can play speed golf like that. You might play a little faster if you were looking like me, but you might be a little colder if you were looking like me.
So, Sarah, what's your normal handicap when you're playing a regular round of golf?
A regular round of golf. I'm a very leisure type golf player, so fair weather usually. I would say I'm in about the high 90s to 100s. You know, not too shabby, but not too great. It's that one nice shot that keeps me coming back. So.
And what do you think about the idea of running between the holes, carrying the club?
It's going to help my game, you know. Why not give it a try and see what I can do with a little bit more energy into it. So.
You're in good hands.
Yeah, I think so. I don't know.
He runs like a whippet. Jeffrey, how do you feel about this?
Well, the last time I actually ran and tried to chase anything down on the golf course was after the beverage cart, so this will be a brand new experience for me. I play about once a week during the season, about a 16 handicap, so it should be an interesting endeavor out here.
Christopher, any last minute tips before we set off?
Enjoy it, have fun, take a little bit more time than you think when you putt. Actually, putting's the hardest part of it. You get to the green, your heart rate's up, you need to kind of calm yourself down. So actually when you get to the green, you might think about slowing down and walking and take a little bit more time with your putts.
To set the pace, Chris is first to tee up. Just as a runner might warm up, Chris does a few exercises to get ready. Then it's time to tee off. Next, Tim joins the round to keep Chris company down the course. For this demonstration, we've moved from Pumpkin Ridge to Quail Valley Golf Club near Banks. Quail Valley is one of the few golf clubs in the area that allows speed golf on its course. The course is a relatively flat terrain with a few ponds and sand traps. But overall, it's a great place to begin learning this new sport. Chris and Tim maintain a good lead over the other beginners, but Jeffrey and Sarah seem to be enjoying themselves. Regardless of their final score, they're going to get a good workout today. Despite some of the challenges Jeffrey encounters, he makes up for it by hitting well on the green.
In. Yes. Feels good when a hole's done.
When we return, we'll see how Jeffrey and Sarah enjoyed their first time playing speed golf.
Well, we've had a very pleasant afternoon here. We've seen the rain, and we've seen the sun, and we got very cold. Now, what I'd like to find out is how they did. Jeffrey, how did you do?
Now, there's many barometers for success. The fact that I'm here with you now is very encouraging. There's a term in golf, throwing up all over yourself, of which I did on the first hole, but I rallied. These gentlemen were fully behind me. They saw my one-putt wonders, which helped salvage the afternoon. It was an interesting experience. Sorry we brought the curve down, fellas, but it was a lot of fun.
Sarah,
Yes.
how did you get on, dear?
I did pretty good. It was interesting. It was exciting and kind of a whole new different look on the game of golf, and I enjoyed it.
Can you do it again?
I would do it again. Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Thank you all very much. Well, that's it for Speed Golf. You may well see me out on the course in the next few weeks in my fine fettle and trim. Until then, take care and thank you all very much.
For more information on speed golf, email Tim Scott at the following email address, or look up extremegolf.com on the internet.
The preceding program has been an exclusive production of Action Sports Cable Network.